Okay, so we continue from here. Let's put this off and then we can see the question number 4. Assess assess the quality of water sources. Now find the table with quality score. You can actually write a query to find the table that has a quality score, but we already know that there is a table here that has water quality, and in this we have columns that have record ID, and then we have subjective quality score, and then visit count. Now the actual exercise is write a query to find where the quality score is 10 with the source as home tabs and where sources were visited a second time. So we have to write a query that finds data from our database or that table, particular table, where the subjective score is equal to 10 and then the source was visited the second time. So this query does just that. The select all from quality, water quality, where subjective quality score is equal to 10 and visit count is equal to 2. So let's execute this and see if it works. Here we have, so you can see from here that all we have here, all of them in this has the same thing, which is the quality score being 10 and then the count, visit count being what, 2. Now you could see that, or this could will tell you that it means some of the sources were visited a second time, probably because people have to wait for a longer period in those places. They wanted to find out if upon the second or subsequent visit the time of wait or time in queue would change. Now basically this is what, now once you execute it, you can see here that we are told that there are about 218 rows that contain this record. Can we check and be sure that we really have done the right thing? Yes, we can. Now how do we find out how many rows there are in with this particular record that we find? Or when you executed this, you can see all the rows. Are we going to count it like this, 1 2 3 4 5? That will be very tedious, and the simplest way to do it is to just come back to the formula where you have this all. I will use that one as a count, so I will say count, I open a bracket around the selected all like this, and then I'll come back and execute the same query, and let's see what it gives me. Here we are, we have 218, which means that our query is not only right, but it is also working, because we had exactly the number of rows that is stated in the slide. Okay, so this means that we are making progress. We can go on to the next one, which is the question number 5. So let's see, number 5 says investigating pollution issues. Find the right table and print the first few rows. So let's go and see what we are asked to do here. Number 5 says investigate pollution issues, find the right table and print first few records on contamination, pollution, or pollution of well sources. So you know, as part of the tables that we also have a table that has to do with pollution. Let me push it here so that we all see it. So let's see here, you have well pollution. So this particular one is talking about well pollution. So we have well sources. So this code just does that. It says select all from well pollution table and then limit it to 10. So let's see. It says, because the question is a print first few records. So let's execute this query and see if we get yes. This is where we are. We can see clearly that yes, we have it here. Okay, we have it here. Okay, so let's go on and then see the next on the bill for us to do. The next thing, this is what we got. I think you can see that we also got the same thing. This is limited to 5. We limited it to 10. We can actually limit it to 5, and then have the same results. Now let's go and look at what we are asked to do next. There's a lot of text here. The summary is that we are supposed to write a query that checks if the result is clean but the biological column is greater than 0.01. So let's see if we can do just that. So I'll take this off. Let's click on the okay. So write a query that checks if the result is clean but the biological column is greater than 0.01. So you will realize, let me execute this one again so that I can explain what that means. So when you look at the biological column, the values here are what is actually used to rate or to get these results on whether it is contaminated or not, whether it is contaminated or clean, and if it is contaminated, what it is actually contaminated with. But the score over here is such that any value that is greater than 0.01 is considered as a contamination. If it is less, then it is the contamination is insignificant. So let's note this as we go on. Now to our particular question is to find those results that are showing clean but the biological column is greater than. So this is a query, or this is a query, yes, that does just that. We are selecting all from the well pollution where results is equal to clean and biological is greater than 0.01. So let's execute this one and then see how this one also goes. Wow, okay. Let's fix this. It looks like there is an error. Okay, so what is happening here is that I have okay, so this is it. Actually, it's working fine now. So you can see from here we actually have where the result is clean and then where the biological is greater than 0.01. So you can see the figures on this stretch, all of them are greater than 0.01. So we'll stop here and then we'll go and come back to look at the rest of it. Thank you.